Hi everyone, we're just going to sketch a graph of this polynomial, and let's fill out some information first. The degree of this polynomial, since this is not in standard form, we're just going to put ones there because these are all to the first power. Just add those ones up and that equals 3. So we have a maximum number of turning points of the graph at 3 minus 1, which equals 2. All right, we're going to discuss end behavior in just a minute. Our y-intercept is when x is 0. So when you plug in 0 in these x's, you will get 2 times negative 5 times negative 3. So that's 15 times 2, which is 30. So our y-intercept is at 0, 30. And our zeros are when y is 0. So when this is 0, for this factor, it'll be negative 2. For this factor, it'll be 5. And this one will be 3. All right. So let's write those down. We have negative 2, 0, 5, 0, and 3, 0. That's your x-intercepts. And we're going to do this part where y is negative and our graph of f of x where it's positive after we graph it. So let's talk about end behavior. First of all, this is positive and our degree is 3. 3 is an odd number, so we have odd, positive, and it resembles this graph here. So your cubic function. So end behavior just means, oops, let's go up a little. I'm not going to go too much. All right, our end behavior just means when we graph our polynomial, we'll be starting in quadrant 3, and we'll be ending here in quadrant 1 as we graph from left to right. All right, and so that's what this means here. Right in there. So that just means as our x values get larger and larger, so do our y values. All right, and as our x values get smaller and smaller to negative infinity, so do our y values. All right, so now let's go ahead and graph this. We had negative 30. Now I can't go all the way down to negative 30 on this, so we're just sketching. By the way, we're just sketching the graph, even though we're on a grid here, just to get the general shape of it. So we got our y-intercept. Our zeros are at 2, 5, 3, 4, 5. All these are negative. Okay, so 2, 5, and 3. Right here. And we're supposed to start in quadrant 3 here. So we're starting down in here. It's going to be hard for me to do. So anyway, it's starting down in here. Since these are all to the first power, these factors, 1 is an odd number. That means it can cross the graph. So we're going to kind of graph up in here. And it can cross. Come back down. We're not going to worry about our exact min and max values on this video. We're just sketching the graph. And then come back around. And there's your graph. So we started in quadrant 3 here. And did end in quadrant 1. That was your end behavior. Now let's determine where our graph of f of x, or our y, is negative. That just means where does it fall below the y equals 0. So it falls below here at this interval and at this interval here. So that's from negative infinity to 2 and from 3 to 5. And where our graph is positive, f of x or y is positive, and that's going to be this part right here. It's above the y equals 0. So that's from 2 to 3. And it's also positive right through there, which is 5 to infinity. And we did have a maximum of 1, 2 turning points. The graph turned. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.